What's up, guys? Welcome to the Two Banks of Five podcast. I wasn't going to do anything tonight. I just finished work again, and I was on my mind was going to sleep for a weekend bender. But now there's some big news coming out in the Premier League tonight. Brendan Rodgers has signed a new deal. Chelsea transfer ban lifted, and a Liverpool reporter pretty much confirming Mbappe 2020. So we'll get all to that. First off, we'll start with Brendan Rodgers. Signs a 5.5-year deal extension on his current contract. Great news for Leicester. Great news for Brendan Rodgers. I would hate to have seen him in Arsenal. I think the project he has here at Leicester could be much more fruitful for him in terms of trophies and in terms of success. I think Brendan is a good coach, but from what I've heard from a few people, maybe he's not so good at dealing with those big egos. So we'll see that. The players they have there definitely will have some big egos on them if they keep playing like this. But yeah, to keep him around, I think maybe could help keep the squad around. The first 11 is very good. And if they can get some depth into their team, then definitely they will be a club that will be competing for the top four and maybe even for titles in the coming years. I think they're going to get a Carling Cup this year. Are they still in the Carling Cup? I think they are. I don't know. A Carling Cup or an FA Cup, something like that. If they're not in the Carling Cup, let me know down below. They're going to win something pretty much. It's not the Premier League. If they win the Premier League over Liverpool this year, I don't know. I'll probably give up on football forever. Anyway, so yeah, good news for Leicester. Good news for Rodgers. More good news for Chelsea now. Transfer ban has been lifted. If you wanted any proof that FIFA don't care about keeping rules or FFP or any shit like that, here's your proof. Dropping the transfer ban. Did they drop the transfer ban for Atletico? I don't think they did. So that's done now. Chelsea can buy players. And my first thought straight away was, that's not good. I think Chelsea have a great squad, young at the moment. And I really hope they don't stock up in positions such as up the front or on the wings or even in midfield maybe. Like Tammy Abraham, Pulisic, Mason Mount, Reece will... I don't know, what's his name? Reece James, yeah. Tamori. Who else have they got? Hudson-Odoi, Loftus-Cheek coming back. That's a good young English, a lot of them, squad. And I'd really hate for them to just, go out and buy a striker. I don't know. Go out buy a Piontek or an Immobile or someone like that, or Mertens, whatever. And then, yeah, I think they really should keep playing their youngsters. Where I think they can strengthen is left back. I know I said Leicester players should stay in the same squad together, but if Chelsea had any brains, they'd go out and buy Ben Chilwell straight away. Emerson and Alonso are not good enough for that team. I think maybe... Have they been playing Azpilicueta left? I'm not sure. And maybe even Nathan Ake for the centre defence to shore that up. Tamori and Zuma are a good pairing. Rudiger to come back. And if you add a fourth good centre back there, that's the sort of depth you need. Obviously, Liverpool have Matip, Lovren, Gomez and Van Dijk. City have Laporte, Otamendi, Stones in their back line. So you need at least 3 or 4 good centre-backs to compete at the top level. I also think Chelsea should look for an experienced head. Someone who's been there, won a Premier League before. Maybe even, instead of Arcade, get someone like a Johnny Evans. I'm trying to think of a player like James Milner, pretty much. Someone who's been there, done that. Cool, calm head. not going to overreact if they lose a game or whatever. I think that'd be a good purchase. I can't think of one right now, to be honest. I'm trying. Maybe Lampard could step back in and play a few games, you know? Imagine Frank, what is he, 40-year-old Frank Lampard? But yeah, look, I think Chelsea have a team that in 4 years can be winning titles, competing for Champions Leagues if they can keep these boys together. Chelsea's probably the only other big team in the big six, shall I say, that I would, and Arsenal, that I would prefer to win trophies if it wasn't us. So if Liverpool couldn't win a trophy or weren't competing, Chelsea and Arsenal, they're the teams I'd want to win. I don't want to see United, City. I don't like Spurs that much. So yeah, I think Chelsea, if they can keep those players together, are going to have a very, very fruitful decade, half a decade. The last bit of news today, Dave Maddock from Liverpool, I think Liverpool Echo, or a Liverpool reporter anyway, he's pretty much said that Liverpool's Nike deal is going to come through very shortly, and coinciding with that, Nike and Liverpool are expected to make, or Nike would like a big transfer, but Liverpool are expected to make one big transfer maybe in January and one in the summer. And in my head, I thought Mbappe 2020. And at the end, he said, no, Mbappe isn't likely. So, you know, what can you do? Pretty much saying that they also gave age limit, 19 to 24. So that means pretty much Liverpool are going to sign Jadon Sancho. Maybe. Liverpool have a very good squad at the moment. Oxlade-Chamberlain's back and starting to perform really well. We've been without Matip and Fabinho now for like 7 games, and Lovren's actually been very good. Gomez has a lot of potential, and I'd like to see him in at some point as well. Henderson dropping back into the 6. You know, Fabinho is probably the best defensive midfielder in England right now, so we will miss him at some point. But at the same time, Henderson's done that role before, and Gini Wijnaldum can do it. And I still think Naby Keita's going to come good. I know it's been over a year now. He's been hurt by a few injuries, but I think give him a run of games, he'll start to nail down a spot, or at least maybe one game Ox, one game Keita. We'll just have to wait and see. What do I think about Liverpool making big transfers? Obviously happy, very, very happy. I think, how dare I say this, but if we win the Premier League, it might and will help to bring in a few more big players, just so players are not complacent with their spots. I think Salah and Firmino have struggled a bit this season. Whether that's down to the fact they know they're going to play every week, I doubt it. I just think they're in not the greatest form. Salah's obviously had an injury, which is bad enough to put him off, but at the same time not bad enough to keep him out. So bring someone in like Sancho who can, you know, play on the left, play on the right, even in the centre if they really need to, just starts to give more options and might boost the level of Salah and Firmino going forward. And I think the fact Shaqiri and Origi played so well the other day definitely sort of said to Salah and Firmino, time to step your game up. Any other positions I think we could need another player? I'm not sure. I think we definitely could use a backup wing back, but talking about big signings, they're saying, I definitely think Sancho, maybe Timo Werner. They're the only ones in my head I can think of right now. Ousmane Dembele, Klopp's a big fan of him, but he's pretty injury prone. I really can't think of anyone else. I think our midfield is quite good. I can't see any. That's me dropping my tips from work. Got $5. I don't think there's any other positions that really warrant a signing. As much as people don't like Henderson, he does a great job for us. He's a great captain. Wijnaldum's starting to get... people are starting to talk about Wijnaldum, which is great because I think he deserves it. Ox, Cater, Fabinho. We might sign another midfielder because the fact is Milner's getting on, and if Leeds go up, I think that's where he'll want to retire, his boyhood club. And Lallana, this might be his last season at Liverpool as well. Just like last season when Moreno and Sturridge all went out. So yeah, Gruitch will come back in, obviously. So yeah, I think Liverpool haven't really signed a big player in a while. They didn't sign anyone in the summer. So yeah, we'll just wait and see. Anyway, guys, that's all the news I've got. So just recapping, Rodgers is tied down for 6 years, not like his first wife, who he left when he became famous. And then he bagged a beautiful woman. Should have seen his old wife, though. Chelsea transfer ban lifted. Don't want to see Chelsea going out and buying a Mertens or someone like that just because they can, you know. And last but not least, Liverpool are going to spend big sometime this year. Nike's going to happen. Mbappe 2020 apparently is off the table. It's off the table when I say it's off the table. Anyway, guys, I'll leave it at that. Please like and subscribe, and I will be back in a few days with the Premier League review.